channel. In this video we're going to be having a look at this Honda's CBR 600Rr. The bike was relaunched by Honda in the UK market last year after an absence since 2017. So what changes have been made to the new model? How is it different to the older? Let's take a closer look and find out. Honda first launched the CBR 600 back in 1987. It was met with praise from the press, success in racing, and it was a showroom hit. The bike developed through the years and evolved into the first RR in 2003. This bike was a radical departure from the previous models with razor-sharp looks of the RCV 211V MotoGP bike of the time. Again, the bike moved the goalposts for competitors and set about cleaning up both on track and on the road. The RR went through a number of evolutions until Euro emissions rules and falling sports bike styles led to its demise for the UK and Europe in 2017. The Supersport segment then went away from the screaming race replicas with only few new developments, and manufacturers were axing models except as track bike only. Only Kawasaki were left with a true screamer, alongside Triumph with their triple and Ducati and MotoGusto with sublime but pricier options. Fast forward to 2024 and the new improved CBR 600Rr was brought back to our shores. It was an evolution of the 2021 bike that had been available overseas. The looks of the new RR strike you as right. Even at rest, it leaves you no doubt that it's a fast bike. The RR shuffles into the Honda range as a rowdy sibling of the more road-focused Cbr 600Rr and Cbr 650Rr, and nestling below the Fireblade, their superbike. The engine is not a million miles from the previous 2017 model. The liquid-cooled 119.4 brake horsepower, 16-valve, 599cc inline-4 powerhouse kicks out 63 Nm of torque at 11,500 RPM. The motor has, however, been fettled to meet Euro 5 Plus standards, but will still happily propel the RR to around 160 miles an hour and 0 to 60 in about 3 seconds. The bore and stroke remain the same as before at 67mm and 42.5mm respectively, as does the compression ratio of 12.2 to 1. Internally, the throttle bodies are up to 44mm from 40, and the reshaped inlet ports increase gas flow. Efficiency is improved with new cam timing, closing the inlet valves earlier and the exhaust later. Figures say around about 5% changes for both. The exhaust and catalyst are also new to meet Euro 5 Plus. The engine is managed by an electronic system to rival anything on litre bikes. Maybe overkill on a 600, I hear you say, but believe me, it does make sense. There are a choice of 5 riding modes. 3 are standard settings, mode 1 being fast riding, through to mode 3, comfortable riding. Still fun, but everything's smoothed out and friendly. There are 2 user setting modes where you can set your preferences and 5 power levels. On top of this, add 9 levels of traction control, anti-wheelie and engine braking control, both adjustable by 3 levels. This is all controlled by a Bosch 6-axis IMU, which also keeps watch over your pitch and lean angle. Changes are made with controls on the left switchgear. On the subject of the switchgear, it's all very well finished and easy to use, although again I struggled with the Honda position of the indicator switch, where I'm used to finding the horn, so I ended up honking the horn when I wanted to indicate. The 6-speed gearbox comes with an adjustable quick shifter, mated with a slip and assist clutch. Gear changes both up and down the box are smooth, no matter how fast you tap your left foot. The chassis of the bike has been refined from the older model. The twin spar die-cast alloy frame and swing arm look similar, although the swing arm has been updated, saving 150 grams. The rake and trail have also been adjusted. The wheelbase has got shorter at 13-17mm, but this is more of an evolution of a bike than a completely new model, so if it ain't broke, don't need to fix it. Suspension wise, Showa provide 41mm SFF big piston forks and rear shock, both fully adjustable as can only be expected. An electronic steering damper ensures nothing gets too out of shape, and stopping is amply taken care of courtesy of a Tokiko 4-pot calipers, chomping 310mm discs at the front, and a Nissin single piston rear caliper biting onto a 220mm disc at the rear. Cornering ABS is of course present, but it's unobtrusive and reassuring if you need to brake hard. The fairing mimics the look of a Honda MotoGP bike, and frankly, it does look like it means business. The fit and finish of the bike is flawless, as you'd expect from Honda. The winglets at the front of the bike are more for the benefit of the track users, but if they want to use it for racing, it has to be on the road bike. Naturally, the winglets are designed to add downforce at speed, but apart from looking pretty cool, they won't really add too much to your road experience. Climbing onto the bike, I was struck about how compact it was, but comfortable I felt. I'm around 5'11", and whilst it probably was designed for riders a lot smaller than me, I didn't feel uncomfortable and everything felt well spaced out and within reach. Remember, this is a race-focused bike and not a tourer. Turning the bike on, the 4.2-inch colour TFT dash comes to life. It's clear and easy to read, with all the vital information and more at a glance. You can toggle through all the different settings, and modes can be set for street, circuit or mechanic. To remind you of its track focus, you can see lap times, fastest laps and completed laps. The now essential shift light also acts as a reminder to change gear when you're pressing on. Lights are bright LED and throw out ample beam even on dark country lanes. Thumbing the start of a bike comes to life with a satisfying burble. Considering its standard trim, it does sound good. Around town, the bike is smooth and well behaved, even when it's in fun mode. It's deceptively easy to ride. It can be docile and mild-mannered, but once you head out of town, it shows its true character. Not much happens under 8,000 RPM, but once you start to press on, everything comes together. The engine screams and makes rapid progress, like the 600s of old. You have to keep the revs up to make it really work. Fueling is smooth, although there's a bit of a flat spot around about 7,000 RPM. I don't think you really notice it when opening up, just maybe when rolling on from below rather than revving hard from low down and straight through. Handling is nimble and doesn't throw any nasty surprises. The bike holds its line well and soaks up undulations in a controlled manner. The RR will take you exactly where you want it to go. The bike feels light, and it is, weighing in at 193 kilograms. As for the settings, personally I preferred the response of the bike in the fast riding mode. I found the throttle-by-wire smooth and responsive. I've heard tales of uncomfortable heat from the underseat exhaust. Maybe it was just the cold weather and me being used to the heat from my Ducati 899, but I didn't really notice it being an issue, even on longer rides or commutes through traffic. I can't lie to you. I can't tell you that I pushed it that hard. I made progress, but the wet, cold and dreary February weather made it difficult to go with too much gusto, although I have no concerns about the ability of a bike to take anything thrown at it. The Dunlop Road Sport 2 tyres warmed up quickly, even in less than tropical conditions. They seemed stable under braking and offered plenty of grip in both wet and dry conditions. Tyres, though, they're a personal thing, and these didn't cause me any issues. I can't say about longevity of them though, as I only covered about 400 miles in the 2 weeks I had for bike. The sound when opening the RR up takes me back to my youth when I had a 600 myself. The combination of the scream from the exhaust and the roar from the airbox are intoxicating, and the pops of quick shifter just heighten the experience. Economy wise, the updates have made the Honda surprisingly frugal. The 18-litre tank giving a claimed range of around 200 miles. I've got to say that's probably being a bit optimistic, as the fuel light would start to come on at around about 150 miles for me, and I'm sure sooner if I'd given it a bit more right hand in better conditions. This is where one of my grumbles comes in. It's only once the fuel light comes on do you start to get the fuel range show up. It's not a big issue, but I had to say it. My second grumble comes on a practical front. The oil window is difficult to see on the engine, and the bike needs to be upright to see it properly. But that's not a thing that can't be sorted using a paddock stand though. There are a choice of packs for the RR should you want them. The first, the Racer Pack, with the HRC hot oil filler cap, carbon look tank pad, wheel stripes and seat cowl, and the bike I had came with these. Then there's the comfort pack, consisting of rear seat bag, which extends in capacity, heated grips, which is something, to be honest, I wish I had while I had the bike, and a USB-C socket. And finally the HRC race kit, but this is only really intended for track and will only be sold to racers. In summary, Honda have hit gold with the RR. It's great to have it back in the lineup, with the same old lively fun brought right up to date with more electronics than you can shake a stick at. Personally though, I'd still love it even if it didn't have the gizmos. Yes, you have to wring its neck to get the best out of it, and no, it might not have earth-moving torque. For example, my 2015 Panigale 899 is lighter, it's more powerful and produces more torque. But it's a Ducati twin, it's a different kind of engine, although ultimately with similar overall performance. But that said, the Honda is exactly what it is. It's fun and it's engaging. It's everything a super sport bike should be. It can behave itself and be responsible without any fuss, but it's at its absolute happiest when it's revving its nuts off. I'd say Honda is probably happiest on fast, twisty A and B roads. It will take you on your daily commute without complaint and on the motorway. I've used it on my daily commute and it's been absolutely fine. And I've also ventured up the M23 and around the M25 for a bit, but I can't say that was a favourite part of riding it. The RR looks right and is as bonkers as you want it to be. In true Honda style, it's versatile and it can deliver the goods however you want them. I just wish I'd had it in nicer weather and maybe had a chance to get a track day to fully appreciate it. The CBR 600 retails at £10,529, which is more than competitive with its closest rivals from Kawasaki, but I'll cover more on that bike soon, hopefully when I get a proper go on one. But of course, rivals such as Ducati and MotoGusto are much more expensive. So, I suppose overall giving it a rating. Whilst it's not 10 out of 10, it's not far off. So I'm going to give the CBR 600Rr 9 out of 10. It's a real gem of a bike and it really is good fun to ride. As I say, it can do anything you want it to do. It might not be the best or most comfortable if you want to do distance, but it's not intended to do that. But it can. It can do it if you want it to do it. It can take you to work, it can do everything you ask from it. It's typical Honda, it ticks all the boxes and it ticks them well. Go and have a go on one, you won't be disappointed.